Quick sound check, just to make sure everybody can hear me. Quick sound check, just to make sure everybody can hear me. Hi Dave, how are you? I think we're good. So, here we are. Luzern-Sursee came out this week, so I thought, hi Jason, how are you? Can you guys hear me okay? Just give me a thumbs up if I'm audible. I don't want to talk to myself. Okay, good stuff. Thanks, Dave. Yeah, so Luzern came out this week. I thought, you know. As part of the Ambassador program, I did get the key for it from Dovetail, so thanks to them for sending that over. And yeah, I've done a couple of runs on it. Seems pretty good. That's my first impression. But as I had a bit of time this afternoon, I thought, why not just shove it on live, and we'll see where we are, because I don't know if you guys have picked this up or not, because this is a rivet route, and rivet routes don't always get a good press after a Rosa. But I think this one has improved a little bit. I will say that just on first glance. So this has all been shown on the original DTG streams, but let's just have a look. So in the journey, plenty of chapters, 6 chapters. And I know, Jason, you particularly go through chapters and you usually complete everything. There's quite a lot of stuff in here. A full run from Luzern to Sursee or back, whichever direction you go, is about half an hour, something like that. So it isn't a long route, but that normally would put me off, but actually it's quite an interesting route, as you'll see. So there's plenty to do. There is just the one train, which you will see if we have a look in timetable mode, which is the RAB-E, or RABE 523 EMU. 112 services if you were doing it via the service screen. Hi SNCF, how are you doing? Thanks for that tip, by the way, SNCF, about how to create your own scenario and actually do a proper stop at the stations. I didn't know that, so that was a good tip. Dave says, I've been reading, it's got bugs, so wait till it says. Yeah, I need to read up a bit more on that. I've not looked at the forums. I need to see what the bugs are. I haven't found any playability bugs yet, but again, like I said, I haven't really used it much. I did see a little bit of dodgy scenery. I've seen cars sinking under roads. I've seen some sides of buildings that look as if they're made out of paper, which are sort of stuck on the sides, which is a bit odd. But we'll see that as we go. But let's have a quick look in here. So, as we said, 112 services, 5 scenarios of varying lengths. So there is one there and back again, which goes both ends of the route. The Shower Express 40 minutes, the pre-season 50 minutes, Midnight Rush 50, Shedding the Weight 60. So I don't know how much variation those provide, because I haven't done those yet, as you can see. I will do those off stream, but what I thought we'd do today is we'll go into timetable. We've got it set to July. I'm just going to leave everything default. You can see these services that I've done a couple. Let's pick something daytime. We'll do Sursee to Luzern, 10:35, 23 minutes that one is. So this is a Regio Express service, so let's go into that one. I'm good, SNCF, thanks very much. The bugs are on the ETCS. Right, so I don't know the ETCS. I know how to use it. I did watch all the official stuff that came out about this. And I kind of got the hang of it. I don't quite understand yet the different levels. I'll show you in a minute. Let me get this set up. Let me turn my dial light so I'll work left to right. So, for anyone who's not been here before, I am on PS5. In case you're wondering. So, let's get the master key on first. Put it into forwards. Right, so over here, there are different settings, but I have just been putting it straight into the one under the 0 key, so ETCS level 1. Just acknowledge that. Let's have a look. So SNCF did a stream yesterday with ETCS level 1. It thinks there's a red before a station, so it slows. Oh, right, okay, yeah. Tail lights for... Yeah, I've seen that, Jason, as well. Yeah, the AI are I think all the AI have got the tail lights on the front. Some... We've seen this before, haven't we? Some of them come towards you, you can't see any lights, and just as they get right in front of you, the lights come on, but it is the tail lights, you're right. And Dave, you had a black screen crash on Harlem this morning, and you're on PS5 as well, Dave, aren't you? I've been all right on Harlem so far. I've played quite a bit of Harlem, and I've been all right. But let's have passenger lights on. It's daytime, but what the heck? Let's have a look outside. It is a nice little EMU, I must admit. It's been well done. I can't compare it to real life because I've obviously not seen it, but in the sim, it's very nice. And we do have quite a few passengers on this one as well. Harlem, I did notice, didn't have this many passengers. Well, I tell a lie. If you go to the Botanical Gardens on Harlem, there are hundreds of passengers. It's as if all the passengers spawn at Botanical Gardens and nowhere else. But this has got a good level of passengers at each station, so I'm not going to intend to be on time today because we're going to have a look at it as we go, so I'm not going to worry about the clock too much. So we'll shut the doors. I think I've done everything in the cab I need to do. Let's I'm going to whack this up because we're going to get 140 once we're out of the station, so let me just put it up. So it took me a couple of seconds to work out what this VSOL was. So with VSOL, of course, if I put that up to 140, it's a bit like AFB on the German trains. If I put that to 140 and I put the throttle in maximum, it will take us up to 140, but it won't go any further than that. So it's a little bit like AFB in that respect. And let me just double check. Reverses forward. Yeah, I think we're ready to go. Okay. Take the train brake off. So this has got a combined throttle and brake handle as well. So we've got a dynamic brake as well, which generally is what is used. But we can use the train brake as well if we need to. So we can get up to 40 to begin with. Okay, so we hear the beeps. And now if I put the power on, actually we need to clear that, don't we, first? I can't go above the blue dot there on the hood just now. And we've actually got 100 coming up, so I'm using the shift keys now to change the VSOL on the controller without looking down, which is super handy since this came in. Let me just put that down to 100, so we can go up to 100 now and it won't go over it. I'm just looking down at chat as I go. Oh, Jason, you got a key for this. That's good. That's good. I will say about the DTG Ambassador thing was a complete surprise. It was a very nice surprise. So I didn't know too much about the Ambassador program, but basically, what they will do is they will give me a key for the DLCs, providing of course I show them off. But also, you know, it's a way for me to provide a more direct feedback on what it is I'm doing, and also get feedback from you guys when you're watching the streams, and have a more direct way to put that back in. So it sounds like a good thing. It's quite an honour actually. It's quite a recognition to get it. I was quite pleased, and as I say, it came right out of the blue. So what I need is the PS5 DLC limit fixing, so that I can actually have all the DLCs on at once. Because to put this one on in Harlem, I think I've had to lose Resignoid, which I quite like, and therefore I've lost the 155. I think I had to take main spec barring off. I've already took. I can't even think how many I've took off. There's a lot. To have all the latest ones off, I've took the lot off. I have managed to keep all the UK stuff on, which is the stuff I'm most interested in. But yeah, it is a pain. I'm hoping they can fix that quite soon. It sounds like they've got someone working on it full time, which is going to help. Let me see what I'm meant to be doing. I've got 125 coming up. You know what, let's put that up to the 160. So you can see this actually is a very nice EMU. I mean, it feels really nice to drive. It's a bit basic inside, but then again, what do you need? You know, as long as it does the purpose. There's these big gaps, and which looks a bit odd compared to the sort of locos and things that we're used to, but it's pretty functional. It looks pretty good. And now we've got 125 coming up, so this is going to be interesting, isn't it? So I have just, there we go, the brakes are on. Right, will it emergency brake me all the way now? Yep, looks like it. That's what happens when you read the chat and you're talking, but that's fine, that shows it works, so I'm not too concerned about that. And the recovery is quite quick, although yesterday when I tried it and I got an emergency brake, it wasn't, because I couldn't work out how to do it. So, oh actually, is the brake coming off on its own? Let me just try this. Okay, right, so I don't know what happened then. I don't know if any of you guys knew what happened, but yesterday I got an emergency brake, and it took me a while. What I had to do is put it into neutral. I had to put the train brake into, I think it was emergency. It was either emergency or full service, and then release it, and it takes the emergency brake off, and I was able to roll again. Oh, that was an ETCS error, the SNCF. Right, okay. I didn't know if I did anything wrong. I mean, obviously I was speeding. I was coming down for that 125, and I wasn't coming down fast enough. But you're right, Jason. It does release quite quick. So some people don't like getting an emergency brake, do they? Especially when they're streaming. But you know, that's part of it, isn't it? You know, getting an emergency brake and recovering from it is part of the game. So it never worries me too much, as long as I know how to recover. So this is the dynamic brake now that I'm using. And this, for me, I don't know about you guys, but for me, this particular EMU, it takes some getting used to for the braking. You can leave it quite late, I think, but like anything, you've got to run a few services to actually get used to it. As you can see, I'm going to slightly go over. No problem, SNCF. The other thing I would say on this route as well, given that this is a rivet route, is that's fairly good distant scenery, especially on the console. Admitted this is the PS5, but it's a decent distance. We'll see a bit more of that as we get through, once we get to the mountains, which have improved substantially since Arosa. I think everybody was a little bit worried about that. So let's get out of the braking zone. So you've got a 120 at the moment, so we've got the VSOL on 120, so we can put it into maximum power and it won't take us any further than that, which is good. Yeah, there are some pros and cons, Jason. You're exactly right. It's nice though. It's a nice feeling to get some recognition. To be honest, it's you know, it can only go one way now, so quite pleased about that. I definitely need to do some further work on my sort of production elements, but apart from that, you know, I'm sat doing this now in the living room on the PS5 on the 55-inch TV, whereas a lot of other streamers, of course, are playing it on PC and they've got, you know, they're able to record it other ways. I'm literally streaming from the PS5. Direct out to the internet, not doing it through the computer. So I'm doing it the sort of traditional console way. When I do the offline videos, I'm running those through the Mac. I don't own a Windows computer just right now, so I'm putting it on the Mac and I'm editing them in iMovie, etc. I'm putting some effects in and music and whatnot. So it's all self-taught. So I'm getting there, but it's taking a while. If I can get myself a graphics card once they're back on the shelves, then I will be able to finish that PC that I was building, and that might be a little bit better as far as streaming capabilities go. But on the other hand, I do like to be able to show this on console, because most of the streamers, I think, tend to be on PC. The only thing I can't do is get any kind of early access. So through the Ambassador program, I could get early access. If I had a PC, but I can't. PlayStation doesn't let you have any kind of early access, unfortunately. And SNCF, you're on the PS4, that's good. Yeah, that's good. Yeah. So the ETCS is chasing me now. You can see the little blue ball forcing me to brake. So if it catches up with me, it will give me an emergency brake. So I need to make sure that my braking is underneath the blue dot, or, well, it's a blue dot with white around it, isn't it? So as long as we stay under that, we're okay. So let it catch up with me a little bit. And this is my basic understanding so far of ETCS. This is completely new to me with this DLC. And you see there, it was catching right up to me then and gave me a warning. So in the background off stream, I'm looking at this more and actually reading up on it outside of TSW2 as well, just to see how it works in real life. Okay, well, this is forcing me right down now. And now it's like, okay, that's weird. So it forced me all the way down, and now it's letting me speed up again. Is that... Oh, under 40 miles an hour you won't be told off, got you. Right, you've obviously played this a lot, SNCF. Oh, this is right, this is the glitch one. Okay, yeah. I thought that was a bit weird. It was pushing me down, yet the stop marker was still 300 meters away. Got you, yeah, Jason, yeah. Is that on the forums as well? Has that been well reported, or should I feed that back? I don't think it'll do any harm if I do feed it back as well, to be honest. It's in the tech reports. Okay, excellent. Yeah. So we'll lock these doors. It'll take 2 years to fix. Some stuff hasn't been fixed yet though, Jason, has it? So, or have the DLCs not been out 2 years yet? Probably not, so you could be right. So we've got a 90 coming up. I'm going to set that VSOL to 90 because 1.7 will be upon us. 1.7 kilometers will be upon us imminently. The acceleration's good on this. Let's go back in the cab. Yeah, that West Cornwall, what do you guys think of that West Cornwall? I think that's another route that I was able to play thanks to Dovetail. And only recently, I've only had that probably a month. I actually quite like it. I must admit I quite like it. I know that the 150 doesn't play like it's meant to play because I know that from personal experience when I used to work at British Rail, and I've travelled many times on a 150, and it doesn't accelerate out of the stations. That's the first thing that I noticed. It just doesn't. You're meant to put it in full whack is my technical term. Put it in full whack at the station as you're leaving, and it doesn't. And it takes a few seconds to pick up. Whereas the one that Rivet have done seems to pick up straight away, and you don't need to put it in full whack. So it doesn't behave like a real one, certainly. But as a route, I don't mind it. I've never been to that area of Cornwall either, so I can't compare like for like again as to the accuracy of the route. But as a route in TSW, I don't mind it. Just adjust that down to 80. Oh, that's one of the ones you've completed, Jason, is it? Okay, that's interesting. That must have took you a while to do that. I'm sure you're going to tell me how many months, days, minutes, seconds it took. I think you usually log that stuff, don't you? I'll have a look at yours SNCF later on. I haven't actually seen it running on the PS4, so I'll take a quick look. There's some of the distance scenery there, some of the mountains coming into view, which is a little bit better than Arosa. I didn't notice that, Dave, about the bridges, no. See, in my case, I've got I bought Sherman Hill. I bought Sherman Hill in the sale. A few days later, I was given West Cornwall by Dovetail, and then okay, now I'm speeding again. Let me just get down. That's better. Yeah, then I got Harlem. Oh, this is breaking me now, isn't it? Hang on, the brakes coming off again on their own. Is that another one of those? Right, why? I'll go back to the DLCs in a minute. Why did that break me, but why did it release on its own? When yesterday I kept having to put the brakes into emergency and then release it to get it going. I don't understand. I don't get that. Right, but I don't want a spad. That's what I don't want to do. Yes, I got several DLCs all at once, so I've not really played a lot of any of them because there's been so much to look at all in one go. Oh, I also got the Thoranda ramp one as well, which I've played a bit of, and I do like. I do like the tilting train. That's really nice. I didn't put it into emergency, it did. Yeah, the thing I mean, SNCF, was yesterday when it went into an emergency, when it gave me an emergency brake, to be able to get going again, I had to... See, I'm doing it again now because I'm talking. When it went into an emergency brake, I had to try to reset it by putting the train brake into emergency and then releasing it, etc. And then I was able to go. But just then, it released the brakes on its own. So I can't quite work out why it was doing what it was doing yesterday, and just now what it did. It's confusing. Let's have a look at the dodgy scenery. So the cars are... Hang on a minute. Let me get the proper view. So we've got some dodgy cars. And of course there's an invisible wall. We got cars floating there like Back to the Future. There's a few rear enders there. And I think it's over here where they're going. I think it's over here where they're going into the actual. Is it here? There it is. They're sinking into the floor. Look. That's interesting. They won't get that for their insurance. They're just little bits and pieces. I mean, it depends how much you look around as you're driving. I was out of the cab yesterday just looking at the route. In fact, I think I was just sat as a passenger so that I could just have a good look down the route. And I noticed those little bits about the cars, but it doesn't really bother me as long as it's not something directly in my eye line as I'm driving. And I'm gonna need to brake again. We've got a 60 coming up. In fact, let me move the VSOL to 60, then we can do it properly. I don't know, SNCF, if I put the brakes back on again, I'll need to do it when I'm not reading the chat, etc., and see if I can work it out. It's funny when there's lots of things going on. I don't normally get braked at all, but I'm looking in several directions, but it's fine. Yeah, where is that chateau? It's coming up SNCF, isn't it, somewhere? Or have I missed it? I know it's somewhere not far from here. Maybe it was just before this tunnel. Before this tunnel or just after it. I can't remember. It's on the right hand side, isn't it? Is it up there somewhere? I probably missed it. So we've got a 40 coming up. Oh, what is it? What is it, Jason, about Tharantha ramp you can't get into? I think it's quite nice. I think it's a bit of a nice mix of city, countryside. This one is actually, although it is short. But I did play the first time the Tharantha ramp and thought, you know, it's a little bit different to some of the other German routes, which is nice. So we're coming into Luzern, and I think this area here is really well done. There's a lot going on around this part, and they did show this off as well the other night on the official stream. Perhaps take a look at Luzern Station once we arrive. It possibly needs a bit more traffic, but you can see how detailed that is. Yeah, it's short, Dave. It is short. It is short. But, you know, it's actually a nice run. I've said it before on these streams and on the other videos that I do actually like a good run. I like the long ones, but I think it's important to have a few short ones as well, based on how much time you've got available to play. I used to use Isle of Wight for that one. You know, if I only had sort of half an hour, I'd jump on and do a quick, you know, just do a quick Isle of Wight, because I knew I could be in and out and still get some play time in. But obviously this one, Isle of Wight's its own thing. This one's much more detailed. There's much more going on with this one. We'll go back the other way shortly. That's a good stop, if I do say so myself. There you go, you see plenty of passengers. So that's the end of that service. So I know it's 29 minutes, and I know that we did sort of at the beginning we took a look and we had a couple of emergency brakes, etc. But it was quite a good service. What I'll do is I'll go back to free roam. I had a funny glitch yesterday, so this is what I did yesterday. I did exactly that. I came into Luzern Station, finished the service, got the award screen like you just saw. I went to free roam. You can see the service is scheduled to start at 11:05. But I left the service, as I'm doing now, with the intention to jump on another one and ride back as a passenger. There's one of the collectibles, which I've already got. And usually when you've been out of the cab for a while, it will pop up on it and it will say, do you want to give up the service? And you'll say yeah, and then you're free to roam around. So yesterday I didn't get that. This is nice, the sun coming through the glass. That's quite nice. Quite a nice effect. Yeah, you see there, load passengers, but you'll find if it does what it did yesterday, it will load the passengers without me being there. It thinks I'm still driving it. So what I did was I jumped on another one. I sat there quite happily, went a few kilometres. I was trying to actually get the achievement for ride 20 kilometres. And I was on my way back to Sursee, and the service that I was on previously went to depart. And it threw me off the train I was on into some Netherland, which is like it was half modelled, half not modelled, which was really bizarre. And yeah, I recorded it actually because it was very odd. And I don't know why. Usually it asks you by this time, do you want to give up the service, and it didn't. It won't do that if you're on board the train as a passenger. You mean on board the same train as a passenger, Jason, or another one? Because I did get on another one and sat there and started off. And I went for a couple of stations before it threw me out. But then I was actually in the middle of nowhere. It was quite interesting, actually. There's one of the posters. So that's our train returning now. But as you can see at the top, somehow it thinks I'm driving it. Let's just have a quick look around while we're here. We'll just go off the end of this platform and have a look. See what there is to see. So there's the mountains. It's a pretty good spot if you're a train spotter. Actually, I don't know what else actually runs on this route, but I did notice that Jasper was asked on the official stream on Thursday, is there any potential for anything else to run on this? And he said there's potential, but there's nothing in planning, there's nothing been said. So that's quite encouraging. The buildings are quite nice. So some complex track work here, which is good. Just looking back at Lucerne. Yeah, there isn't much AI at this end. You would expect it more here than everywhere else. There's a lot of static stuff, but so here's the sheds. We'll have a quick look at this before we go back the other way. And you can see some of the tutorials start from this point as well. Can't fall down those, I don't think. They've got covers on. That's a bit random. What are they going to use those for? Maybe going to fit them to the next train. So, you know, it's pretty well done, this one. Can you get in those trains and drive them? Not sure, actually. Probably. Let's just try and jump in. L'amour burgers. What's that? Love in French. L'amour. Love burgers. It's probably not meant to be said like that, is it? It's meant to be like love burgers as in I love burgers, not love burgers. Plenty of self-promotion. Don't blame them. Oh, there we go. There's the IKEA one. I'm allowed to say it if they're not. Nice. Well, let's have a look at this. You probably can drive it, yeah. Of course, we got a red light in 19 meters, so that's not going to do us any good. There's no power, so I'm assuming I have to raise the pantograph, etc, etc. Oh, unexpected vehicle formation. Or is that the service that it still thinks I'm running up in the top left? I don't know. Either way, you probably can drive these, Dave, if you put the pantograph up and everything, but there's not much point when we've got a red in 19 meters because it will spad us. So let's just come out of this one. Go to the main menu. Emmerdale Farm, yeah. So we'll do another one, we'll go back the other way, I think. Why not? Seeing as it's just quick. So let's do this one, 1044, Luzern-Sursee. That screenshot there, Jason, did you get pipped to the post with that one? Did you have one similar? I think I saw on the forums. Alright, let's get this on. The wipers. Don't think I've had occasion to use the wipers yet. I don't think I've been in any bad weather. So the door controls, of course, if you're using the door controls and you like to use the buttons, the door controls are all down here, but I tend to use the buttons on the controller, if I'm honest, just for easiness. Then over this side, that's the headlights off. Headlights emergency. Marker lights on or off. Passenger lights on. What else have we got on this side? Oh, it's so fiddly when you zoomed in to actually get the right buttons. There's the uncoupling buttons. Have I turned the headlights off now? Because they come on, don't they, when I... Let's have a see what we got down this side. Handbrake. So if I turn those lights off there with that button, where's the headlights on button? That's off. Headlights emergency. I presume that's some kind of hazard warning, yeah. If you're stuck on the track, turn them off. Somebody let me know where the headlights on is. Or do I have to literally turn the master key off and on? That's the cab light, isn't it? Right, oops, if I take the brake off. Master key off, then on. Right, okay, let's do that. Let me just do that. I thought it might be that, because I know they automatically come on with the master key. Let's put it in neutral. And I think I have to turn this back on, do I? Yep. Put it in forward. Make sure the train brake is off. Right, let's go. See, SNCF, that happens to us all. It's very, very difficult to do two things at once. I don't care what anybody says. If you've crashed into the buffers, you're human. You crashed into the buffers, SNCF, but at least then I knew how to turn the headlights on, so I'm okay. So we have an 80 coming up, so let me just set the VSOL so that we can accelerate once we get out of this section. Right, so now we can go up to the 80. Emmenbrücke, platform 1 is the next stop. So again, we'll forget timings because I was messing around with the headlights and the buttons and whatnot. I must admit, I'm not too fussed about the medals. I just required enough gold medals for the trophies so I can get the platinum, and that's beyond that I'm not too fussed. DTG Live is down, is it? So is that Creators Club, all that stuff is off then, I assume? Rail fan shots. I did think, I thought I saw that, Jason, about that. Maybe I saw it on the Discord. Maybe I saw it in the Discord. I think you posted a picture of yours which was pretty similar in the Discord. Yeah. And that was this week's, wasn't it, I think? Right, 85 is what we can do. Right, where's that castle? It's up here somewhere, isn't it? Maybe it's... I'll find it. Maybe we've not passed it yet. So all the mastery's gone as well, right? Yeah, of course. I wonder if it's to do with Creators Club then, because I imagine that that's causing quite a bit of traffic. The traffic will have gone from literally next to nothing up to, you know, 100%. 500% more, or even more than that. So I'm going to start braking. I don't know how the Dovetail Live's hosted either. I wonder if it's some cloud solution. If it's a cloud solution, of course, it probably should scale. Rather than go down, but it could be some kind of network issue, I guess. Who knows? So the blue dot is chasing me down to make sure I brake. Again, that's my technical term for how this thing works, until I find out correctly the terminology. There is a manual. I know it always says it in the tutorials, but there is a manual, but it's on Steam, which is why us console users don't always see that there is a manual. But I did see somebody link to it on the forums. So if you haven't got the manual, just have a quick look on the forums, and you'll see there is a link that takes you directly to it. I haven't read that yet, but I'm going to. There is a section about the ETCS in there as well. So we always have to go 40 out of the stations, and then we've got 145 kilometre speed limit coming up, but we've got Emmenbrücke Gersag platform in 800 meters. So let's not just go 145 just yet. Now you're just showing off, and SNCF. Going hoodless. I'm a way off that, as you can tell. Yeah, Spirit of Steam is tomorrow. Yeah, correct. You know, I'd forgotten about that. Do you guys think it's just going to be... I mean, I don't have any inside information, by the way, just in case you guys were wondering. The Ambassador thing doesn't cover that kind of stuff at all. But, you know, I'm just wondering... Do you think it's just going to be one route? The Crew Liverpool route? Or do you think they're going to... Do you think it's going to be the summer release, and do you think there's going to be a Steam route for each country? Do you think there's going to be a German and US one, or am I just being too adventurous there? Because I think it's probably taken a lot of work, isn't it, to just do the Crew to Liverpool one, I imagine. Don't know. Jason's saying nothing. Okay. He's not denying it. Well, maybe we'll find out tomorrow. We'll find out something tomorrow. I think it's going to be interesting, though. I mean, I'm not a massive Steam fan. But I'd like to play it in this. I would like to play it in this. I think it's going to be interesting because it's learning a whole new system again, isn't it? And a new way of just running trains, and it's going to be pretty interesting. Saying I'm not a Steam fan, I just come back from a bike ride, and many of you know I live in Preston, and in Preston we have a bike ride called the Guild Wheel, and it basically is 21 miles all the way around the outskirts of Preston. It's a circular route, and as part of that you go down to Preston Docks, and there is a railway down at the docks. It used to be the Dockland Railway, when all the big ships were coming in and whatnot, and it used to be deliveries there, and it used to take stuff out to towns around Lancashire and beyond. But it's privately owned now. There's a section of it privately owned down at Preston Docks, and they run the steam trains. They have these little steam trains. They run them every Saturday, and I did stop and watch them. Actually, it was actually really nice to see. It was unusual, you know. So when I say I'm not a Steam fan, there is something about them that makes you stop and have a look. And, you know, I was trying to beat my record out cycling. But I thought, I'm going to stop. But I didn't have a chance to get my camera out and take a couple of pictures. I was going to take a couple of pictures and put them in the real train section on the forums, but I'll do that next time. I don't normally go at weekends because it's pretty busy. I go during the week, especially when the light nights start. But yeah, there is a railway down there. It was quite nice to see, actually. I could smell it before I actually saw it, and I saw the smoke. The coal burning smoke, it's just one of those things, isn't it? It's really, it's something I like. Yeah, I think you're in Blackpool, are you, Jason? So you're only up the road. Or Blackpool area. And SNCF, I've not done any of these hoodless. I should try it, really. And do you know why I haven't? And it's because I dip in and out of so many routes. I know some people, I don't know if you do it this way, Jason, but it sounds like you might do. When a new route comes out, do you solidly play it all the way through until you finish it? Because I don't tend to do that. I tend to let me just turn this VSOL up. Let's put it on 100 for now. I tend to dip in and out between routes, so I never really solidly play a route. When a new route comes out, I might play it solidly for, I don't know, a few days. But I don't start to go through from start to finish. I tend to go on, do the training. I'll usually do the scenarios, and then run a service so I can see the whole line. And then I'll go back to journey mode generally, and I just work my way through that. But I never get to know a route properly to be able to drive it hoodless, and I probably should do that because, you know, Northern Transpennine, for example, is one of my favourite routes, if not the favourite route still right now, and I do know that one quite well, and I could probably run that one hoodless, if I'm honest. Maybe I should try it. I'm not brave enough to try it on a stream because I just make myself look an even bigger idiot than I already am, but yeah, I might give it a go. Add that extra bit of excitement. Fleetwood, yeah, COD Army. Yeah, I know Fleetwood. We'll just come into this one, just nice and easy. Some collectibles there on the station building, but I'm not going to dive out. Not just yet. I'm gonna have to check these streams out, SNCF. I want to see the one where you hit the buffers. I've got to see that. There is one of mine where I hit the buffers actually. I think Dave, you called it out once. Was it on? Was it Munich Hausberg? I think it was Munich Hausberg. And I was coming into Munich. I think it was Munich Station. And oh no, it wasn't. It was LGV. I was crawling into the station. I didn't brake in time, and I pranged it into the buffers. I think I derailed it, but I left it. I left the video on there because it was amusing. It shows it can happen to anybody. And do you know what? I wasn't even going that fast. But it's like I said about the emergency brake. If you hit the buffers, that's part of the game. That's what it's there for. If you don't brake right, you know, don't cover it up. Because everybody learns from it, don't they? I certainly do. So we're at 4.6 kilometres. I'm going to turn up the VSOL as far as we can go. Then we can get up to speed. Put it to max power. You're right, Dave. Yeah, some of those red lights, some of the it can be annoying, can't it? But some of the red lights are right at the objective marker, and you almost concentrate on stopping short, don't you? Just so you don't spad. Especially when you've done a service which is an hour or more, you don't want to, you know, one of the American freight trains, for example, you don't want to spend all that time and then just, you know, spad. And I know they said they were going to fix that, didn't they, with newer routes, but there are still a couple where the objective is right next to the red light. It's actually quite a pleasant route, scenery-wise. When a short route's announced, a lot of people can be like, "Oh, you see, it's not very long, is it?" And you know, it can be that some people. I mean, it's everybody spends their own money, don't they? How they want to, and if you know, some people think, oh, if it's not a long route. If it's not a long route, you know, they don't want to spend the money on it. That's fine. That's the way they spend their money. But for a short route, you know, it can be a short route, but then they can make it a little bit more detailed, can't they? That's the other thing. So it depends. It depends what you want and how you spend your money and what you're looking for when you pick one of these routes up. Now, before I was able to get the key for this one, I was watching the streams and I thought, I don't know about this one. But that's mainly because I don't know anything about Swiss railways. So when it's the UK stuff, every time, you know, I bought every UK item that came out because that's my thing. But I was interested in the German stuff too. And I was interested in the American stuff, although sometimes I didn't buy them when they first came out day one. I waited for everybody to play it first and just provide feedback, and that's fine because that's, you know, that's how I spend my money. And I need to get the brakes down. But this one, it is short, but it is quite good. I quite like it. Let's just have a look around this station. If I can get away from the invisible walls, that is. All the passengers are spawning behind that building. Power cables. So that's actually quite a nice picture there. It's quite detailed. A good mix of the forefront scenery and the distant scenery there. So again, leaving the station, we can't go any more than 40. Thanks, Jason. Thanks for dropping in. Catch you later. Am I doing an S-Bahn service? Let's have a look at the schedule. 21131. Is that S-Bahn? Not sure. So the next station is Notwill, 4.4 kilometers. Here's the lake. It is really nice to drive this. I do like it. I'm assuming this is all available in off the rails mode. So I might try running this on one of the longer routes, just to see if we can get it up to speed. At some point, I'll set something up. Anything 4 digits with a start of 4 is a regional express. Got you. 1.2 kilometers. Let's start braking. .600 meters to the platform. So again, I wasn't quite quick enough. So let's let the brakes come off. Yeah, we made it mad. Yeah. So again, you know, this is a safety system you can actually use. It seemed quite confusing when it was first shown, I must admit, but if you've learnt PZB, then I don't think there's anything, is there, that can confuse you even more than PZB. And I will always try to use whatever safety systems are involved on these trains. It's just part of the playability, really. And if you watch enough of the DTG streams, you'll be able to pick up how to use all these different systems. Just takes some practice. This is about, you know, the 4th service I've run on this, so I'm still a little bit rusty with this one. A 4-up challenge. That'd be interesting, wouldn't it? Apparently there's a really good one of those coming up. Is it next week? Or did I miss it? DTG keep mentioning there is one. Yeah, the French ones are on the TGV. They're one of the easiest, aren't they? SNCF. Oh, it was yesterday. Oh, I need to watch that then. I didn't. I watched the beginning. Train Simulator Driver was doing his bit at the beginning. I was watching him for a while, but then I had to jump off. So I'm assuming it was after that then. I watched most of the first hour, I think, yesterday. So I'll probably put it on the replay later on. Oberkirk. Oh, I just got a trophy. Flirting across the miles. So I'm assuming that's for doing 100 kilometers or 100 miles or something. Let's get the brakes on this time. The blue dot is chasing me down. So as I said, usually the dynamic brake is enough, but you can use the train brake as well if you find you're struggling to stop. But I think this time we're good. It does brake very well. I use them as SNCF. I use them pretty much from the beginning on the LGV. I didn't find them. I didn't find them that difficult at all. And it's a very similar system, isn't it, to Southeastern High Speed? I like the safety systems though, because they give you a bit of a challenge, a bit of an additional challenge, which is why I always try to use them. So I'm just keeping under 40 until it clears us. I bet these houses get some noise, don't they? It's actually keeping us under 40 this time. And that's because we're already at Sursee. How do you say it? Sursee, or is the S as like a Z? Sursee. I should really brush up on that if I'm going to speak these names. I'm almost doing a JD on these names. Right, we can speed up now, but we're only 1.3 out of the station. So the blue ball is coming down again. You can see it there on the right hand side, but we're well under the speed as it happens, so that shouldn't bother us. platform 2C. Actually, timing-wise, we've made up a bit of time there as we've come along. We're not far off time. Dave. I'm not saying anything. Sursee, right. I'll try and remember that. Now the blue ball was chasing us down. Still chasing. And it's because we got the red light. So actually, you know, with what we were talking about before, where some of the objectives are near the red light, this particular system helps you get stopped before the red light, which is good. So I think what we'll do when this service ends, it wants me to lock the doors and people are still leaving, but no, there's only 3. Let's lock the doors and we'll just jump out and have a quick. We'll have a quick jump out and see what this station is all about. So I'm on the PS5 version currently. I'm 161. So I know, Dave, you're 200 and something, aren't you, on the PS5 version? So I think the original one I got up to the original TSW or something like 600. Then we went to TSW 2, didn't we? And I think I got up to around 550. And then the PS5 version, I've started again, and now I'm level 161. So it's a shame, really, we can't roll those levels all into one. I know they don't really mean much, but it is nice to kind of know how long you've played it. So let's jump out of this and we'll go and have a quick look. I won't bother shutting the train down, but we'll go and have a quick look at this station. So the PIS boards are here. Let's have a look up here. So 11:18 is when it departs. Here's another collectible. Newspapers. The Rivet Review. West Cornwall Local, Penzance, St Austell. It says there. Out now, a Rosaline. Do not cross the railway lines. Alright. Ticket machines have been collectibles, haven't they, on some routes? But that's nice. The actual real map. It's quite nice. People keep appearing, which is that's a bit spooky. This is great. There's an old Merc. What's this one? It's like an Audi. Could be a BMW rip-off there. That looks like an Audi estate. What's that? That's definitely an old Merc. An old 80s Merc. Yeah. That's like a VW Passat. What else have we got? Oh, this is a Golf. Is this a Golf? Nah, it's a bit too long for a Golf, but it looks very VW-ish. Anyway, we're not here to car spot. Let's go back on and have a look what we've got. Aha. So there's our route in TSW2, the various stations. But if you haven't picked this up, I would say, and you've seen it there, I would say don't let the length of the route bother you at all, because it is actually quite fun to drive. And you've seen there, we've done end to end a couple of times. This is one of those routes, I think, where you could sort of do a day in the life, and you could keep zipping backwards and forwards for a certain period of time. That's something else I haven't done, which I kept meaning to do on a few of the routes. And just jumping off, catching another service back and driving it back. Squeeze past Hitman there. There's another collectible in there. How do we get in there? Oh, so is this for the station staff, perhaps? I don't really speak German. I know some German, but I don't speak German. So, is that for passengers, or is that for the station staff when they wave away the trains out the platform? Not sure. Is that how they contact the signal box to say it's ready to depart? Anyway, so that was a quick look at the new route, and I hope you enjoyed it. It is nice. I hope if you haven't got it yet, it's helped in some way to let you have an unbiased look at it. But it is quite nice. I do quite like it. And these routes are definitely getting better each time. And I suspect that the preservation crew have been working with Rivet quite a bit since Arosa to just put in some general improvements across the board. So, you know, things are looking up. So, I think that's it for now. We've had 2 runs. Hopefully I've given you a good look at it. But thanks for joining me. It's been a pleasure. It's been great to have a chat. I'm going to try to put together a more regular schedule for the streaming because it's been a bit hit and miss so far. So I'm going to look at my work schedule and see when I can put it in. I also don't want to clash with DTG streams as well. I know because a lot of us watch those too. To get our information, so there would be no point me streaming at the same time as a DTG stream. So maybe weekends is the way to go. So let's see. I'll look at that. And now I've got to 500 subscribers, I can actually put the community posts on there to actually pass out a message to everybody that watches the channel. So that's easier. So you might have seen the one today that I was going to do this afternoon. So. That definitely helps. So as soon as I can work that out, I'll post up what that schedule will be, and we can try and make it a bit more regular. And yeah. So thanks everybody. Take care. Hope you have a great afternoon, and I'll talk to you soon. All the best. Bye for now.